Hey, it's Scott Ozzy. We're in South Hill, and this is the Colonial Theater. There's obviously an art workshop on the 15th of August. This has become, as you can see, quite a restoration project, actually. Like so many places that had wonderful large theaters and playhouses, it was vacant for a while and in a state of disrepair, but that all changed. I believe the Mayor Horn here was one of the reasons why, and we're going to walk in and see what else we can find out about the place as we come in. And one thing I know, the air conditioner works in here. I heard the ducts are. Hey there, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great. Scott with VictoriaCambridge.com. And we're actually just kind of taking a walk around. We've heard a lot about this place and all the restorations that are going on.
Yes, sir.
And are you one of the people here?
Yes, sir. My name is Lauren.
Lauren, very nice to meet you.
I am the Director of Operations here. It's nice to meet you. And this is Amber.
Hello, Amber. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Right.
She is newly added to our box.
Yeah, I heard. Some little bird said Myrtle Beach or something of that nature.
Yes, sir.
So
That's
within
true.
that,
That's
but this is. Oh my gosh, this looks like kind of a painting of days gone by.
Yes, sir. That is Ray Cherry's vision of what this once looked like, 20s and 30s when it first opened.
And when was it? When did it first open?
It first opened in 1925 as a vaudeville.
Okay.
It's had many incarnations since then, but
so many theaters opened in the Bird, the Paramount, Palm Beach. It goes on and on. It's amazing how much happened, and then about 10 years later,
until like 1939, I
with
think.
the state of the economy, with the Depression, everything on top, it came crashing down in that. But when was the efforts put in to do the renovation or do the revival?
Mayor Horn started on that back in 2000, I believe, and it took just about 10 years to get everything together to complete the historic restoration of the building. We are on the National Historic Register of Landmarks as well.
Okay.
So some of the things that you'll see throughout the building are original.
Okay.
In keeping with that register as well.
Okay. As we kind of pan over here, I noticed, I guess, the elevations. These are some of the people that had to do with bringing us what we see now.
Yes, sir. The Ovation Circle, they are our yearly sponsors and advertisers.
Okay.
They get recognition in all of our programs, and they get banners in our front lobby. The Colonial Center Friends on the other side were people, organizations who donated money for the original restoration of the building.
Okay, well, I'll also get lots of coverage on VictoriaCambridge.com and YouTube, because that's where this is going.
Yes,
so why don't you lead us on a tour here?
Sure.
So we can learn.
What we can come up with here.
That's it.
Everyone always asks about the tile on the floor. They ask if it's original to the building. It is patterned after the original mosaic on the floor, but it is not the original tiling. We tried to stay as close to the photographs that we had and accounts from people talking about what the floor looked like when it was initially opened.
The disrepair was too bad, I guess, to do too much with that.
The building was in a very bad state of repair.
Right.
When the initial restoration began, there was no ceiling, there was no roof, there were birds and animals.
Oh my gosh.
Everywhere throughout the complex, and a lot of people put in a lot of time.
Okay, because I know Chase City has a theater in this thing. It sounds like it's almost it's got an observatory upstairs because you can just look out and see the sky.
Yes, sir. This is the main lobby where patrons come in when they first come in. We'll move the screens out of the way when we have shows, and people enter through this way.
I've got a maximum of 730. Official 731, and we know what that means in the rock and roll club business. So that's great. That really is. That means to bring 1,000, you've got an option to bring a lot of different productions and shows and things in.
That is correct.
That's great.
This would be where our ticket counter would be during productions. We'll roll this out and people come in in advance.
Right.
We'll make it into the interior lobby now. You can see
there you go.
The John plates that we're putting here that we find very beautiful. We like those. And this portrait of Mayor Horn.
Very nice.
Him up in the
Was that done locally?
balcony.
Was that done locally? The portrait?
Yes, sir. I do believe it was Robert Harris Photography.
Okay.
He also paints with his photos. So this has been.
Yes, I noticed that look.
Yes,
yeah, something's jumping out of the portrait in that, but it's great.
He
yeah.
actually has an exhibit in our second floor galleries this month as well.
Oh, that's.
And we'll see that when we go.
That is great. I was going to say that certainly is one of the things many towns and many cities have done. They've universalized and basically, well, they monetize it or they utilize it, but they're taking all those empty spaces that are there during, especially for all the different tours and that sort of thing, kind of comes
Yes,
through.
sir. Let's see, we'll enter into the auditorium now. As you can see, it is named the Earl of
Okay.
Horn Auditorium after Mayor Horn.
I would imagine Mayor Horn had this on his radar for a while,
Yes,
it looks
sir.
like.
And we're going to come through this little area here.
Ooh.
The concrete flooring, I believe, is original as well, so you'll see the little bubble gum spots and things.
Okay.
That was left purposefully.
Indelibly stamped. I love
yes,
that.
Yes, it was left on purpose as part of the historic restoration to keep parts of the building the way that we found them.
Right.
When we came
Oh,
in.
wow.
We have the same style of sconces across here. The auditorium between upstairs and downstairs, I believe there are exactly 387 seats with the capacity of up to 400 in these roll-in areas. We have handicap accessible seating that can also be used for patrons who do not need wheelchair access when we have large crowds. And you can see the balcony from up here.
Yeah.
There are approximately 250 downstairs, and we'll say approximately 150 upstairs in the balcony.
Okay, so you have, obviously, you have a little mezzanine and then a balcony on top.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes,
within that.
Yes, sir. And that, I said the balcony is stadium seated. A lot of people like to sit up there because there's never any heads in your way, and you have really good sound with that, the lower ceiling up there too.
Right.
It pulls that sound down on people. That's one of my favorite places in the house.
Now the ceiling, you mentioned there wasn't a ceiling, or there wasn't much of a roof or anything in before. How does what we see up here compare to what they think or what they know was?
It's modeled after that. It is tin, like the original ceiling that was in here.
Okay.
They tried to stay as close to as possible to that original makeup of what the ceiling is made of. I'm not sure about the coloring and the painting. If it was similar to how it was. I don't believe so. I believe that this is a new color palette in here. But they did try with that ceiling to make it out of the same material, at least. Let's see.
The color scheme and the colors and stuff, had that been discussed here for a while before
I believe
it was decided?
Mayor Horn went back and forth. And
okay,
finally
I was
came
going
up
to say
with exactly what he had envisioned for this facility. And the stage area, I guess, is where we're headed next. Right now we have some sets up for The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
Yes, this is part of the opening in Munchkin Land. In The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, we don't start out in Kansas, we start out in Oz. So this is where the beginning of the show starts from.
Okay.
We have the speakers on the side, as well as the monitors we have facing out towards the audience for a little bit better sound.
Okay.
In this particular production. We have a lot of children in this one, and it kind of helps with getting their voices to project.
Okay. All right.
So let's see.
I'll let you lead, and we will.
And we'll look up. And the fly space.
We'll go from staring to being stars. Hello, everybody. I'm glad you could come.
Well, if Mr. Douglas Wright was here, we'd have him throw some lights on us. But I don't have anybody up in the tech booth
That's
today.
who Tech Man is. Okay.
Yes, he
Great.
is. He's very good. He also is our director of community theater here.
Let me ask you a question once, because a lot of times these things get discussed, and there's a meeting, and they have $100,000 or $1,000 or $20,000 plate dinner. And then finally things start to happen. And that's usually when it gets exciting, unfortunately. Enough things don't happen when you have that happen. But when this started to really get legs, was there a real come together in the community and around the area that you saw?
As far as my knowledge of that, people were very giving and very open to the possibility of this place becoming what it has become again. There was an outpouring from people in the area and from the state and Commonwealth of Virginia as well. A lot of different organizations were very excited to see that we were interested in reopening and refurbishing.
Yeah, and I think, and then once they come and they see that progress, it's important to let them see that progress, where that money's going, where that time is going, and the talk.
We do have open door policy. Anyone is welcome to come in at any time. So we welcome them to come in and keep tabs on how things are going as well. As we're standing here, if you'll look up into this 3-story fly space here, you can see some of the lighting here, and then you'll also notice this movie screen here. It's a large movie screen up there, which we bring down before shows, kind of like when you go to the movies. The commercials and advertisements at the beginning. Right. We'll do that here for our sponsors.
Great. Good opportunity. Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Captive audience. Keep them in here. Let's see, whose could these feet belong to, kiddies?
I believe that is the Wicked Witch of the East. Poor darling. But right here, where the Wicked Witch is, if you'll notice this little duct tape square here, that's actually a hydraulic lift which brings our 13-foot Steinway Grand from the basement. Oh my gosh, all right. To lift it, we have had a hydraulic lift installed to bring that up.
In the mosque for years, in the mosque, in Bird Theater, there for years, it was Eddie Weaver of the organ. The organ's still there. Eddie's long gone, but.
Yes, sir. So that's been a big help with not having to store it in the wings. We do have a permanent place for the very wonderful donation of the grand piano.
Now, do you do, or have you done up to this point, different workshops as far as?
Yes, we have workshops on the first Thursday of every month except for January and July.
Great.
They're free workshops, and they're for performing arts. And then we also have on the third Thursday of the month, from April to October, we have free workshops, which would be for maybe visual arts or something of that nature. For example, this month, on the 15th of August, we have Robert Harris is going to do a photography workshop, and he'll be doing that in here and telling people and showing people how to get the best photographs possible with their own equipment.
Yes, all right.
Sir. And those first Thursdays, we try to set up for different age groups. We'll cater towards children, and then we'll do one for teens, and then cater towards adults, so that everyone is able to utilize.
Do any tech workshops?
We have not, up until this point, done that, but we do have on the docket for next year, one of our first Thursday for theater workshops is going to be geared towards the
tech.
Yes, sir.
Very
that
important.
Is going to be a new thing. As of right now, Douglas Wright and Mayor Horn are the only people who utilize our tech equipment. Because they have been trained. To use it. Yes,
all right. So the mayor's background, I mean, like his playhouse.
He knows everything about this place. When it first started, he was the only employee. He was the only person here. So he knows this place upside and down. He's very involved as well.
Got you. Very interesting. Very interesting in that. Now, how many different productions have you do you have, or how often are you?
Since the beginning of our Cats Community Theater, we have done 5 different community theater productions per season. Each one of those generally has 5 to 6 performances apiece. And outside of those, we also bring in professional acts. From throughout Virginia. We try to stay regional. To get, we've had Colin Ray here, who was a big gospel and country singer. Then, for example, Milton Bullock from the Platters has performed here a couple of times, and Lionel Starkey, the Spiritual 7 gospel singers. We have something for everyone.
And because South Hill is pretty south, and north is not very far to the North Carolina, you have a whole big pull. I mean, it's not at all far from there, and just an anathema, a huge amount of people and things to draw from there. And I'm sure some of the ones like getting out to a smaller venue as far as from what they're concerned with and
it's
prepares for
more,
that. But
I would say it's more personal,
homey,
more
yeah,
homey,
yeah,
to be able to actually see who you're there to see
right,
instead of watching them on a screen
right,
from the 312th row
right.
up in the top of a coliseum.
Yes, right, right.
If you'd like to, we can see the backstage area.
Yeah,
We can check out
definitely,
the dressing area,
definitely.
our dance studio back
Ah,
here as
wonderful.
well. We've got a few more little set things back here in the stage manager station. As we come through.
So I gather the mayor had a background or a career or whatever in theater and drama, or knew it, or.
Not. This was a labor of love for
Oh
him.
my
And
gosh!
he
Wow.
did a lot of
LBFWI learned by fooling with it.
did a lot of research, a lot of market research as well. He went to different theaters who have similar markets as ours.
Sure.
And spoke with them about how they got theirs started.
There you go.
People were very helpful in the beginning
Yes.
of getting him
Yes.
started and giving advice and who to call for this and who to call for that. So different theaters in the area played a big part.
Well, this is wonderful because I think a lot of places don't do it because we don't have the expertise, or we need to be expert to come in. And most people's success is they're happy about it. They're glad to talk about it. Just open them up.
Yes,
Keep
sir.
going.
This is just the prop table
Looks
here.
like it, yeah.
Yes, sir. So that when people are headed towards the stage, they can grab everything.
Ray Bolger, Ray Bolger.
Now, we know that we don't touch other people's props in the theater. I'm just kidding with you, of course. Feel free.
Ray, you don't fly away on this one, right?
And now we come back into the dressing area. I guess maybe we could start back this way if you want and just make our way that way. We're going to come into the green room. This entrance here, the small door there,
Okay.
where the actors actually enter the building
Okay.
before the show, so that they're not coming in through the front and coming in through the stage, to keep the illusion, so that people don't see them dressed in street clothing.
Right, right.
It's kind of in disarray right now
That's
because
okay.
we're in the middle of
It's
production
active
and we
production.
have 30 children.
Oh my gosh!
Production.
Yes, sir.
We have a small private dressing room here. This is what we call our star dressing room.
Ah, okay.
It has its own makeup facility, dressing area, also has its own restroom and shower.
And once again, we are informed and told your mother does not work here. So,
yes.
Thank you.
This is something that I was very excited about, was the showers in the dressing rooms, which is not something you find in a lot of communities.
No, this is very nice.
Yes, sir.
In that, well, and you could tell the forward thinking was there. If we're going to do it, let's do it so we can really reach out and we can reach up.
Exactly.
And it seems to be definitely paying off. And the proximity to where you're located here is also very nice too.
Yes, sir. And we've put in a lot of time with trying to get our monitoring system up and running. This television here actually is projected from the auditorium, whatever's happening on stage, so that the actors can convene in this room and see what's happening on stage and hear what's going on stage, so that they know when to go for their cues.
When to go in for the cues.
Sir.
Excellent.
Exactly. And we'll come back out of here.
That is an old Singer White machine, but I'll tell you what, I bet it still runs like a top.
Yes, sir. And there's another one right over there that is the same.
Yes.
Right here is the main makeup facility with the very bright lighting. A lot of women come in here and just it's finally somewhere that's well lit enough to put on my makeup.
Sure.
We can house about 10 to 15 at a time doing.
What's the biggest production, the most cast that you've done so far? I'm just kind of curious.
This one is very close to being the largest for cast-wise. If it's not this one, then it was Best Christmas Pageant Ever. Okay. Or A Christmas Story. They're all right there in that 30 range. Next season, we're having The Sound of Music, which will be another very large cast.
Oh, yeah.
Let me just straighten this little photo here if I can without knocking it down. Oh, it looks like it doesn't want to move, so I'm not going to move it.
So we'll take a tour of that.
I apologize, Mr. Colin Ray, for your photo being
I'm sure
lopsided.
I got a friend of mine in Nashville. He'll forget him on that. Okay, so this is some of your.
This is the Wall of Fame. Yes,
Wall
sir.
of Fame. Excellent.
This is every production or professional group that has performed here since we opened officially in 2000, end of 2010.
This is great. This is very nice.
Whenever professional acts come in, they're very nice about autographing these things for us to put back here on this wall. And once we get further down towards the end, there are some from the 30s and 40s down there as well from when this was opened before.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes,
well,
sir.
We're taking that whole little trip and giving everybody their shot there, and also getting a grand overview of all the different types of things that you have. Oh, there's Milton Bullock, I mentioned. Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, always fun. Beetle Magic, all right.
Joseph was the first community theater production that we did here. Was that one in 2011. And then on this wall, once we get down here, is where we start with Minnie Pearl, Roy Rogers, Sugar, Gene Autry, Joan Crawford.
Oh.
These are all people who.
These are people that had been here.
Yes, sir.
That were here.
In the 20s,
oh, this
30s,
is wonderful.
And up to the 40s. There were very many more.
Clairbeau. Yes.
Very many more, but these are the ones that we've been able to find actual records of when they were here.
Right.
We don't want to. We know of others who were here, but with no concrete evidence.
were there many surviving photos and stuff, or even?
There were not. Most of that was.
No film or any of that from that as well. So wow.
Most of that was either taken out when it was closed down,
right,
or was lost.
Yeah.
in the interim, in between.
Right.
And as we come here, this is a dance studio. We'll have our dance workshops and teach some of the choreography for the shows back here in this space. This is very highly utilized during rehearsal time.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Well, this is quite a facility. This really is.
It's been a lot of work, and this is just the first floor.
This is just the first floor.
Yes, sir. The regular dressing facilities will hit one of those.
Okay.
These two are pretty much exactly alike, just mirrored. This is where we would put the munchkins.
Okay.
And the,
we recognize some of the.
Another restroom into this one.
All right. Well, why don't we proceed up to the second floor on that, and we'll fade out with the Tin Man's